What's up, cyberspace cadets? It's Irate Prostate here. Just saying hey on a Friday night with the CREEM stream. I got everything going, and I got in the studio with me tonight. I've got Atima the Hun. Say hey, girl. What's up, cyberspace?
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
It's Irate Prostate. All right, and Accelerate.
Yo, what's up, everybody? William Cinchavar? Yeah, that's right. He's digging deep for guest 2.
And, of course, the man of the hour, our guest, The Killing Joke. How you doing, man?
Where the hell am I?
If you knew, you'd want to run.
Okay.
I'm broadcasting out of Alabama.
All right.
That's right. You're with us now. You got a pretty smile.
God.
Yeah, but it was really weird. Killing Joke and I have a lot more in common than I thought. And we were shooting a little bit of the shit before the show. But here's the deal, all right? Before Irate Prostate's avatar picture was the guy in the top hat, it was going to be the Heat Miser. That the Killing Joke uses. Okay, I swear to God, this is the truth to my name. And I went with the other one. Just this was a troll account that I had created. So, and with that in mind, just know that he and I also have like heart surgery and shit like that. But we're going to come back to it. Hey, Occams just joined in, man. Occam, say hey. Occam. He may be having a problem. Sometimes on his laptop, he'll have a problem hooking up, and he may have to go out and come back in. Anyway.
That would be the simplest explanation, which is the most likely.
Yes. Yeah. Try it now, Occam. Hop out, bro, and hop back in. One of these days. So all right, so we're just all chilling out. All right, let's do our little shake and quake here. You know, and I've talked about my surgery a little bit. Do you want to talk about that now? Or you want to just wait till later?
We could get all the fantastic news out of the way.
I want to hear why neither of you guys should be alive right now.
Fair enough, man. You want to go ahead and tell your story, man, because it's almost a ditto of mine. I didn't have any bypasses though.
Oh, okay. Let's see. About 2 years ago, on June 30th, after a 3-day bender, I was sitting on the toilet, and after I got off the toilet, I kind of collapsed, and it felt like a gorilla on my chest, and something didn't feel right. Well, besides that, and the ringing in my ears and a gosh darn hangover. But all of a sudden, my legs started to swell up like really bad, and I couldn't breathe. So I called ambulance. They came in, they looked at me and took my blood pressure and said, no, we're moving you now. And I didn't know what was going on. So anyway, they wheeled me in to the hospital, and next thing you know, they're type matching me and whatnot. Long story short, just a really long story short, leading up to it, I blew out one of the my aorta in my chest, my upper aorta. I had upper aortic aneurysm, and that kills 90% of the people. Well, that kills 100% of people.
When it ruptures,
it's a death sentence. Mm-hmm. That's what killed John Ritter and Bill Paxton
and Elvis, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, and they killed him on the toilet too.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I think Richard III, one of the kings. They call it the king killer, and it was one of those guys. Anyway.
Yeah.
Because when you're trying to wait, does it kill you on the toilet because when you're trying to take a shit, like your blood pressure spikes?
You're
a little
straining,
bit?
yeah.
You're straining.
Yeah. You got, you're straining, trying to take a shit, and then it's just like, and
come on, I'm trying to give birth here.
Yeah. And then see what an aneurysm is when you're is when a blood vessel balloons out. Yeah. Right, because the walls of the vessel get weaker, and it just balloons out from the pressure of the blood pumping through. Right, it doesn't.
Yep.
The tires used to do it all the time when they had inner tubes and shit.
Exactly. That's the closest way that you can compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 3 layers actually. So your body has a built-in safety system of 3 layers, and 2 of my layers were already blown out, and it's like a balloon, like when you grab it and you squeeze it and it gets that little wart on it, and it just went bink. And I was bleeding out into my chest, and it was going into my legs.
Right.
We're filling up with blood and fluid.
Right. And see, that's where the blood is coming out of the heart at a really high velocity, and so you bleed out fast. I mean, it's just like boom. And I mean, you're so fortunate, man. And I'm really glad. Yeah. I'm really glad, A, that you're alive, and B, that you had this experience, because people don't understand. It's like I had something similar, except mine didn't pop. And when they got in there, when they were doing. Here's how it went for me. I was feeling lightheaded and shit. The doctor, my doctor GP, who's caught other shit, is a genius. He's a great guy. He says, I want to take an x-ray of your chest. Then he sends me for a CT. And then like the Friday before Christmas, I'm his last patient. And he looks at me and he goes, you have an aneurysm on your aorta. You need heart surgery as soon as you can get it. Merry Christmas. I got to go.
Shit.
I swear. No, man, I had to wait till February to get it done. And
here's your hat. What's your hurry? You know?
Exactly. Well, and it was like, I mean, it'll put the fucking bloody terror of the reality of looking up, death's asshole,
Yeah.
And so, all right, so when they did yours, did they put a valve in?
Well, no. What they did was they, first they put me on bypass, and I died twice on the table. Mm-hmm. And all that out of body experience, it does happen. It did happen for me. I didn't see
your brain wasn't dead. Your heart just wasn't beating.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I saw. I was dead. I was dead.
No.
Twice.
I just meant like your brain. There were still electrical signals in your brain.
Oh, I guess. I guess. I don't know. The doctor said we lost you twice on the table. So.
Wow.
That's all I'm going on is what the doctor said.
Yeah.
So they had me on bypass. I was under for 12 hours. What they did was they cut open my my groin area and pulled out a piece of skin, I guess, from my bladder or something, and they used that to patch up my aorta. So it's honey, what's that called? Dissection, right?
Right.
They use that as a dissection. What? No. What? I'm sorry. My. Oh, they used it. They used that part to repair my valve.
Oh.
They didn't use arterial matter from your leg or anything? Because that's usually where they go.
No, they went in through like right in the crease where your leg meets your pelvis.
Yeah.
In the groin.
Yeah.
And they cut me open there, and they went in there and rooted around and grabbed something in there. Because I got a real nice scar there.
Yeah.
And they pulled something out of there, and they patched that, and they found that I had another aortic aneurysm in my stomach. So I had two. They since I was going through all that shit, they didn't want to operate on the other one. And it's not that big yet. It's like at 5.3 centimeters. And they're not going to mess with it until it reaches 7 centimeters. And they don't want to screw with it just yet because there's like a 15% chance that'll paralyze me.
Right.
Because it's like in my lower abdominal.
Yes, it's behind your stomach, next to your spinal column.
Fine. Yeah. So, anyway, I was laid up in the cardiac ICU for like, I think 11 days, fighting to live. My wife came in every day. I'm just really blessed to be here. It's not difficult to talk about. It gave me a new lease on life and gave me a different outlook on life. Mm-hmm. I'm still the same guy I was, but I'm a firmer believer in karma. And I cashed in a lot of karma that day, So now I got to build it back up by doing good things for people.
Well, good deal, man. That's a great way of looking at it, man. It's like, luckily mine didn't rupture, and they caught it. I had a bicuspal aortic valve instead of three.
Yeah.
Instead of three, it was two, and they replaced that with a mechanical valve. So now my heart ticks like a like that.
The Tin Man.
Yeah, dude, it drove me batshit the first fucking month I got out. And Uzi Q told me that reminded me that I had it in March. I had to wait until March to get it done. Anyway, but
you can admit it, dude. You're basically Darth Vader.
I've got two titanium hips, and then it's a ceramic and some kind of weird plastic valve, and then I've got a piece of Dacron, I think is what it is. It's where the aorta used to be.
Yeah.
It's like a plastic pipe. So anyway,
you are the bionic redneck.
You're like a cyborg almost, and I'm just a zombie.
Well, I had a talk with Aiden Paladin is. And,
I've heard.
Yeah, she told me that I was a transhuman technically by definition. So I don't know what that means, but what the heck? Anyway.
Yeah, why not? Go with it.
Transhumans unite.
You're fucking training.
All right. Nice, dude. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Irate, prostate. Okay. Since we're going to be going over battle scars. Okay. All right. Top this one. All right. I was under anesthesia for so long that I have clinical amnesia and long and short-term memory loss, and I'm not allowed outside my complex because I get lost going around the block. Beat that.
I can't. Dude, I forget words and shit all the time now.
God damn. Well, that's just age. We both do that.
Yeah.
I do too, but it's because I drink too much and listening to your story-killing joke. I'm pretty sure, it's a good time for me. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to go on a diet. Not tonight, though, because we're streaming, but tomorrow, man, I'm going to get right on that.
Yeah, get right on that. Yeah. I don't drink anymore or any less.
All right. So what made you choose your avatar?
Ever since I was a kid, I loved to eat and I love that song. Dun dun dun. you know, I just love the song and the Heat Miser, and I figure, you know what, my name, The Killing Joke, and like so many Joker avatars, and it's like, okay, well, you know, let's throw him a curveball. You know, his name's The Killing Joke. Why the fuck has he got the Heat Miser avatar? You know, so it's like, huh? Make them think twice. Keep them fucking guessing.
That's right.
You know,
I like that. Yeah, you know, it's really weird that this is and I'll say this for the last time for everybody who's been listening to me for a while. It's like the account that I'm using now started out as a troll account. I was, you know, fucking with people with it on Twitter, and it just caught on. And so, you know, the irate prostate, you know, the crotchety old man who, you know, it's like, you know, old people, we sit around and talk about our bodily functions and shit, right? Just like you and I were just talking about our war wounds with the zipper shit and stuff.
Yep.
You know, that's a sign that you're old, man.
Yeah.
But
hey, you know, as long as you're having fun.
Yeah, that's the point, man. Is that life is short, and it's too short for, like, you know, acrimony and negativity. You know, so I agree. You know, it's you know, having that karmic idea of just putting some good back into the world, because you know, obviously something good was done with you, and you know, man, me too. And I think that you know what I'm trying to do some of that here, but there's other avenues of my life that I like to keep to myself. That, you know, that I'm doing similar kind of stuff, but in, you know, more of a helpful way. I without getting into it, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that. So go ahead.
Yeah, you see, that's exactly why. I mean, I'm you know, and I don't know how you're going to take this or not, but I feel kind of blessed to have this opportunity right now. And, you know, in my second half of life, as I look at it, like, to do this, I mean, I worked hard my entire life. I dropped out of school. I lucked out. My father owned a business, and I worked from the time I was 16 up until my mid 40s. 6-7 days a week, you know, and I operated the business when he passed on, sold the business, made a very good chunk of money, retired early, you know, invested well, had a rough life, but who hasn't, you know, did some grimy things, but who hasn't, had my share of bad relationships. Who hasn't, you know? But
right.
But
I was going to say, I thought everybody else is here.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, I think I can only check off one thing on that list.
Yeah, but
That's
maybe,
the bad relationships, right?
maybe two, doing some grimy things. It just depends on your definition of grimy things.
yeah, everybody's done somebody else dirty in their lives. Don't. Nobody's a
Yeah. That's why I said
nobody's a
grimy things.
Nobody's a fucking angel, you know. I mean, so, I mean, I'm just happy making people laugh nowadays, and I don't know where it comes from and whatever, why people like think I'm funny or whatever. And I mean, it's great. I love it. I mean, if I get pulled into a voice channel with somebody and I can make a couple of people laugh, that means the world to me. And that's from the heart. You know, it's an abused heart, you know, but it is from the heart that just hearing somebody laugh or seeing people in chat laughing, you know, going, stop, I'm dying over here, whatever. It means a lot to me, you know, knowing that I made somebody for that brief moment forget about all the shit and just laugh. That's something, you know. that hey, I did something nice for somebody, you know.
Exactly.
I feel honored that I could do that, you know, and that's why, you know, I'm thinking about streaming and doing a show or something. I don't know yet. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was gonna. My next question is, what made you like think about like, okay, I'm gonna go on YouTube and fuck around with some people?
The truth, I don't know. I mean,
that's
boredom's
a good answer because that's how I got here.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail right on the head, Excel. Boredom. I mean, I'm home all day with my 2 dogs, Grumble, Snorts, and Lulu, you know, and I got a lot of hours to fill. I'm a house husband, you know, and there's not much to do. I'm in God's waiting room, Florida, you know, and
Florida man.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and I come complete with battle action mullet. But anyway, I mean, it's
also, you said you get lost usually if you go outside. So
yeah.
If you did, you would get eaten by alligators.
Remember that? What was that? What was that Christmas vacation? What was that Christmas vacation? That guy talking about the plate in his head. He said when somebody turns on a microwave, he pisses himself and forgets who he is for 3 days. Oh man! As a matter of fact, I just added Randy Quaid to my fucking Twitter, and I'm so goddamn glad I did that. That motherfucker is crazy as hell. Oh my god!
That shit.
It's rolling crazy, dude. Holy shit! Oh man. Would Atima, Excel Band, do y'all got anything y'all want to talk about in particular? You know, this is kind of like a, you know, like a ping pong, kind of a, you know, kind of like a pinball table worth of bouncing off of each other. And any.
It's been entertaining listening to you guys talk about brain damage and memory loss and things, because I totally understand. I was 18 when I died twice, and I've had short-term memory problems since then, and.
What happened to you?
My first asthma attack proved to be fatal. I didn't know I had asthma. Nobody had ever said anything about me having asthma. And then my first asthma attack came, and nobody in my family listened to me. And they said, "Oh, you're fine. You're just being dramatic because, you know, 18-year-old girl, right?" And shitty parents, you know, the crappy yuppie boomers. And then a buddy of mine came over, saw that my lips and fingers were blue, and said, "We're taking you to the hospital." And about 2 blocks from the hospital, I stopped breathing.
Oh, wow.
And he did CPR on the entryway to the hospital, because that was the closest place he could get me flat. And then they took me in and they gave me a bunch of breathing treatments, because he brought me back the first time. My buddy did. And then they gave me a bunch of breathing treatments, and then they gave me Ativan, and that caused my heart to stop a second time.
Ooh.
So,
Are you allergic to it?
I don't know if I'm allergic to it, and I don't want to find out if I'm allergic to it, because if the side effect for me is heart failure, I don't want to test that.
No, that's not good.
No. So,
but don't take if you're allergic to it, right? Like the commercial says.
Yeah.
Me and Irate were talking about it before the show, but my one serious trip to the emergency room, my heart slowed down and was beating irregularly at like 38 beats per minute.
Holy shit.
And you know what they found out? There was nothing physically wrong with me. I was having panic attacks in succession for weeks.
Oh.
And I had a hyper stimulated vagus nerve.
Oh, so you needed to go desensitize your entire body.
Basically, this is what they told me. Like, they gave me the runaround. The thing was, I was conscious the entire time. Like, it did make me feel a little lightheaded, but if I was laying down, I was fine. I could talk to people, and they were pretty sure they thought that was the issue, but they still had to give me every fucking heart test possible. They were going to shove a fucking, like, one of those cameras up my leg to look at my heart, But after the cardiologist saw the esophageal echocardiogram, which is where they stick it down your throat to take pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gag reflex, man.
No, I was under anesthesia for the most part. Like
I wasn't.
Remember it.
I was wide awake.
I barely remember it, but they like after that was done, they got up and they said, "Yeah, you're fine. Just take some rest and here's some anxiety meds." Like that was the end of it.
Here, kid, take this. Fuck yourself.
It was about two weeks of the runaround trying to figure out if I needed heart surgery, which I didn't.
Yeah.
I still to this day, because I was like my mom has the same issue. My sister just turned 27. It was about the same age that I started having the issue. She's been calling me a lot, and I finally got her to go to the doctor because she's having the exact same kind of symptoms I had before I got to the emergency room. But it just sucks because I would much rather have just like had a heart surgery and just all the problems went away instead of just having this thing I just kind of have to deal with the rest of my life.
Yeah, welcome to the world of PTSD. It's fun times.
Yeah. I mean, it's as shitty as it sounds. It's just like it's almost better to have something that you can just get a surgery or take some medication for a few weeks and everything's fine again. Just not how it works.
Yeah, it's called hallucinogenics and cocaine.
So my sister's a good girl, and that makes me feel a little bit better because I was convinced for the longest time the reason I was having those problems is all the drugs I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I wasn't an addict. I wasn't doing shit every day, but I was certainly a weekend warrior, and the kind of shit I would do, it was just whatever was available.
Yeah.
No meth, no crack, no heroin, but anything else if it was around, and plus I played in bands, so there was always something around.
Yeah.
Like somebody would hand me a pill, and I was like,
sure.
Like, what does it do? And he's like, well, Sean, it's illegal. And I was like, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fucking give me two.
Sorry.
Go.
Once I discovered I was immune to cocaine and morphine and heroin, I realized that there were a whole lot of drugs that were just going to be useless for me. Fortunately, I was really young when I discovered all that.
That's crazy, man.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's the worst. That must have been the worst day ever.
Everybody should experience a cocaine like hangover at least once in their life, so they'll know what suicidal really feels like.
The worst part is the laying in bed when you ain't got no more. Going, God, I wish I could fucking sleep.
Yeah, you're watching the sun come up and shit.
It's what makes it a real dangerous combo, because I guarantee everybody's fucking done this before. Or, I mean, if you've done a bunch of cocaine, what you do is you do a bunch of cocaine, and then you drink yourself retarded.
Right,
yeah, but
and then when you come off the coke, it's like, boom, you're knocked out. So, it's like you don't feel it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but when you did
you wake
the
up
amounts,
the next day and you do want to die.
But when you did the amounts of cocaine that I did, to the amounts that where you're hiding in your closet thinking that the cops are coming in at any moment, but you're still holding on to that 8-ball with a nose. Right, so you ain't drinking anything, pal. Your throat is dry as hell, and you ain't drinking anything.
Yeah. So one of the dumbest things I ever did is me, one of my friends from high school, and my old drummer, we got an 8-ball, and at the time I was living in my parents' basement. I was 23 or whatever. But yeah, so we were doing coke, and then my parents came home. We freaked out, and so what we did, we had this mirror that was hanging on the wall that we were doing coke off of, and we just got in this dude's car and went to his house, and we just had the mirror sitting in my lap doing lines while we were driving to his house. And I look back on that, and I was like, I could have went to jail for a very long time.
Oh, you don't think about shit. You don't.
No.
Yeah, of course I didn't at the time.
Don't tip it over. God, there better not be wind.
We got there, and to this day, that friend of mine still has that mirror, and it's just in a closet, and it's a souvenir to remind him how dumb that night was, and why that'll never happen again.
Well, when you're 20 years old, man, you're bulletproof and 10 feet tall, man. You know, you
Hell
don't
yeah.
think about jack shit.
Invincible.
You know, exactly.
Yep.
You are invincible.
No,
Exactly.
I was a mother at 20.
Oh,
Holy
poor
jeez.
kid.
Yeah, I fortunately avoided children. I taught my guys how to swim the other way.
Oh,
Smart man.
jeez. Oh,
Either
what
that
was-
or I did so many drugs that at the time I was not a fertile.
yeah.
Or
I
you
was-
just got really fucking lucky, Excel.
Mhm. I had my daughter just is going to be turned 20 in April. Ugh, I feel so old.
It's
Gosh,
amazing, isn't it, how fast they get
it
all
goes.
this shit.
It
Yeah.
goes quick. I
Not when they
remember-
won't move out.
Yeah. I'm trying to get mine to move in.
Oh, fuck that. I want her gone, dude. Just go be an adult somewhere else. You're being
Just go.
crazy.
Wait, Doc Martin's like, I wouldn't suggest pounding a liter of vodka in under an hour. It will kill you. Okay. It'll kill you if you don't drink all the time, but if you drink all the time, like, it's just gonna get you fucked up.
Yeah.
Or if you're tiny, right? Like, I've never been tiny. Like, even me in shape is 250 pounds.
Mhm.
I'm 6'6". I used to fucking like work out,
God
play
damn.
football, all that shit. So, yeah.
Yes, Excel is a good size. Tall men are fascinating. Tall people are fascinating to me. I love hanging out with tall people. I love talking to them and being around them. It's just fascinating to me.
What about
Yeah.
being tall affects somebody's personality?
I don't know. It just makes them more interesting and attractive to me when I see them out in public and like in real life. I will stop and talk to really tall people more often than I will average height people.
I know
Weird.
people just as tall as me that are fucking retarded.
Oh, I know. It's just I find them more. My first ex-husband is 6'5". I can't fucking stand the man, but
Okay, so
I
the
find them
issue
more
is-
interesting.
No, the issue is you have like a physical attraction to tall people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there you
that's,
go.
that's fair enough, man.
That's your thing. That's your thing.
It's diluting your ability to recognize that they're shit human beings.
Oh
There
no,
you go.
no,
Marry
I
a
just-
midget next time.
Because
Marry
I-
a midget. They try
No.
harder.
no.
They try harder. Come on. Get
It's just
yourself a manlet. You know
I
you
don't-
want
I
to,
don't-
sweetheart.
It's just like if you get burnt, go find yourself a fat bitch.
No.
No,
No.
no.
They give good head and they cook well because they have to.
No,
They
I-
try harder.
I just find tall people more interesting because tall people are less likely to fucking attack me.
Okay.
Overall, I'm less likely to have to get into an altercation with a tall person than I am a short person through my experience in my life because I am a mouthy bitch.
Yeah, I can vouch for that actually. Usually being the biggest guy in the bar at any given situation, the littlest dude, will come up to you and say, "Fight me," FITE me now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Because that motherfucker's got a fucking 38 in his glove compartment, and as soon as you knock the shit out of him, he's gonna bring that thing in there and blow your brains out. So it's like
Little Vinny bag of donuts over there has got the Napoleon comp
exactly.
again. He gets a six-pack of courage, and you got to slap him around in front of his guinea friends. Hey, fuck you!
I think I've stopped 20 times more fights than I've been in.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Just with your presence at your height.
Plus what happens, especially when I was like in a bar age or band playing age, here's what happens. Like every group has that one tall motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
So it's always the little guys that are like, dude, I got my big friend with me, and they go start shit.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah,
start
it's like-
shit, and they got somebody in their group that's big, and like we just look at each other, right?
Go, I don't want none of this.
Yeah, we look at each other. It's like nobody wants to see fucking Clash of the Titans around here. Plus, like, if us 300-pound motherfuckers start going at it, we could accidentally kill a small woman just by fighting in the bar. So we always
Dude,
just look at each other.
mother-
We wink and we de-escalate the situation, and then like after everything's got said and done, I look at the other big guy in the group. We give each other a nod, and we're like, "Way to go, good job."
You motherfuckers can kill small dogs with a fart. What are you kidding me? Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Okay, also, I'm 5'7", which is kind of tall for a woman, so that could have something to do with it, too.
Oh.
Wait, no, so you're a woman, so I've always this is no.
You don't say, Excel.
He broke the code.
No, what I mean is this is a good one to run by you. So every girl I dated, obviously they've been shorter than me, and some of them have worn high heels, and they bitch about wearing high heels later in the night. I'm like, why were you wearing high heels? And they're like, it makes my ass look better. And I was like, for who? I'm right by you the entire day, and it doesn't make any difference to me. Like, you're 5'5" with high heels, you're 5'8". I'm still about a foot taller than you.
That's to show off to other women and for herself, to make herself feel better around the other women. I quite enjoy being over 6 foot tall in my heels, but I also don't do it for anything other than the wow factor of being skinny and dreadlocks and 6'2" and brightly colored platform style wedges.
Okay, and everybody knows you're busty. Go ahead and get it over with.
No, this was before I had the boobs. I just, because I'm tall enough, and it's fun.
In fact, almost got Pinoid a strike on his second.
You can blame April for that shit, because I wasn't showing nip, dude. I was being a good girl.
That next day, I had to fucking call Pinoid and be like, dude, are you alive? He straight up drove to that chick's house, and I know they met on the internet.
Well, duh. Yeah. Okay, so Tom came out winning and the rest of us lost because that was freaking terrible. I didn't want it to go that way. I was trying to be funny. I was trying to distract from the dumbness.
Oh, it was funny. A whole bunch of views were popping in. It was like, look at this. Look at how many people we got watching. I was like, part of it is because the card on the stream was you with your shirt off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what you would see whenever you went to your subscriptions. It said Pinoid's live, and that was the picture.
How did it end up with me? How do you do that?
It just happened. It was random, but that's how YouTube, like, it just takes screenshots at random intervals. And for a good 20-minute interval, it was you.
I need to yell at. I need to ask a favor of Goatman. Goatman, it's never a good Irate Prostate stream unless you show up. You know this. Please fix Occam's microphone so he can talk. Thank you. Just
poor Occam.
Yeah, Goatman's the shit. He every time he shows up, man, it ends up being a great stream. So, but do y'all have anything you want to talk about from this past week?
Comic-Con has unleashed a bunch of really bad trailers on us for horrible fucking movies that don't need to be remade. And a few that are going to be good franchise, and one or two maybe interesting movies.
You got a list?
Do you want TV shows or movies?
Both. Let's do them both. Shit. I'm a big sci-fi freak. Are y'all into it? Joe?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
All right, good.
It's your stream. I'm just here.
Well, I'm just saying, man, you're my guest, It's like
no, don't confuse me. Yeah, man, let's do it.
Let's do it, dude. All right.
Let's do it.
It's like you and me, man. We're going to be laid up watching TV for a couple of years. We're like, fuck this motherfucking shit.
God damn it. Oh, my Metropolol. Get it. Give me that gabapentin bottle, motherfucker.
Man.
Hear my voice now?
Yes!
Yay! That's awesome.
Jesus.
I fucking
don't know
told
why
you.
this worked, but I left the Discord app on my computer and just went online to the website version.
Right.
And now it's working for some reason. I don't know why it wasn't, but...
You're going to have to either go into your task manager and end the entire process, or you're going to have to restart your computer to get it to work through the Discord app.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. My computer's been doing screwy stuff lately. I think I'm going to get a new one sometime soon, hopefully. But, yeah.
Well, cool.
So,
all right. Yeah, everybody, Occam, man, Occam and I are, he and I started this thing together. And he hadn't been able to like hang out and do the show in quite a while. So it's like it's a treat to get him on and hanging out. So Timma was going to bring us a list of some shit that they're going to either remake or some new stuff, new sci-fi that we all want. You know, I want good sci-fi, you know, but I don't want you know, the fourth remake of a shitty movie, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I don't think we need, you know, Generation 6 of Aliens. I think we need to maybe let that die.
Maybe.
Star Wars die as well. We're done with that.
Yeah, or Saw. Let's have another Saw movie. That was fucking entertaining.
Oh, jeez.
There's one I'm actually really excited about, and that's Glass, because it's the sequel to Unbreakable. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Split was great.
Yes. Yeah, I like how they didn't mention anything until the ending.
Yeah.
Split. That, and then I was just like, oh God, yes, friggin' A. Because I loved Unbreakable. I thought that was awesome.
It's brilliant.
So I didn't, I'm not going to say I knew the end was going to have Bruce Willis show up. But I will say that I was like, fuck yeah, finally, for the first time in a long time, I liked an M. Night Shyamalan movie. And it's because they actually made the dude turn into a supervillain. And I thought that was going to come, but I was like, no, M. Night Shyamalan movies, they haven't been that cool. Right? They haven't been. And when Bruce Willis showed up, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So I think maybe he knows and he's going back to, and Unbreakable was my favorite movie by him. Right? I can watch that movie over and over.
Yeah, the one with the fucking trees and shit, and it was like, what the fuck is this movie about? God damn.
The Village was dumb. I know a lot of people like Signs. I thought Signs was retarded.
Signs was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Pinch poke.
Yeah, it was about a 5.
Well, so like Signs was a little bit better because at least like as the story was going, it was okay, but then the twist was really dumb.
At least it was happening.
The Village I fucking hated because not only did I just kind of get what the twist was, but the entire story up until the twist was just bad. Like I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, no. The only thing I think was worse was The Happening. That was probably the worst movie I've seen in a long time. Even the original, I think it's a terrible idea and it's not written well, and somebody needs to go back to the drawing board if they want to make The Happening an interesting concept.
It's not like we've got like a gajillion fucking global warming, mass, it's all about, they're all about global warming and shit, right? And it's all, that's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. Give me something new, people, Just saying.
Hollywood is just run out of ideas now. I mean,
well, it's because they're starting to do purity tests for who can write and direct movies for them. It's like they fired the James Gunn, I think is his name, the guy that did the Guardians of the Galaxy movie because he made off-color humor jokes while he was working for fucking Troma, for fuck's sake. Really?
Yeah.
He was working for Troma.
Of all.
The Toxic Avenger. These are the most politically incorrect people
Poltergeist.
I've ever seen in my life.
Nukem High.
Nukem High.
Yeah.
Poltergeist. I love Poltergeist. That was funny as shit.
Oh.
My dad was in Nukem High. Little known fact.
You're kidding.
Nope. And they filmed at his junkyard where the Cretans hung out, that junkyard and stuff. That was my father's place.
That's awesome.
He was the guy driving the machine, crushing the cars. Yep.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I need to say something.
Please do.
It's about you, the Killing Joke. Your voice reminds me of, for some reason, it reminds me of, like on the movie Rocky with Mickey.
Yeah. You gotta eat lightning and crap thunder.
Cut me. You cut me.
Yo, the Killing Joke, man. I got a boxing match coming up soon. I just need you in my corner.
All right there, Rocco.
It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. Keep on going.
Cut me.
And remember, Mickey loves ya. Actually, I thought you were going to say I sound like Andrew Dice Clay a little bit.
Yo, Adrian!
Hickory dickory dock.
This bitch was sucking my cock.
I just gotta.
Clock struck 2. I shot my goo and left her off at the next block. Oh, hey.
I just gotta interject real quick, man. I absolutely love all of the Rocky movies. Rocky 1,
Yes.
Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 6, also known as Balboa. That's all the Rocky movies. They're all fucking
There's Rocky
fantastic.
8 is coming out this fall. I am so excited. It's the Creed 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rocky 7. Yeah, Creed was awesome as well.
Yeah. I must
He's gonna
break
fight
you.
him,
He's gonna fight what?
he's gonna fight what's his name? Dolph Lundgren. Who did he play?
Oh no, he's gonna play. I just
Oh, boomer boxing.
I must break you.
That would make sense, dude. We're in Cold War #2, man. Maybe maybe Creed Jr. can solve the current problems with Russia.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a revenge thing, though. It's like a revenge thing because Dolph Lundgren killed his father, so now he's gonna like fight Lundgren's son or grandson or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. That fits.
Well,
But
you know, Rocky 3. What was it? Rocky 3, where
Yeah.
Apollo died.
Yeah.
No,
That's
that
it.
was 4. That was 4.
Oh,
That's
Rocky.
when, yeah, at the beginning of Rocky 4, Dolph
Yeah, he
Lundgren
gets beat
comes
to
in, They
death.
have the expedition match. Well,
Yeah,
he just gets hit so fucking hard. It's
Rocky 4 was a white American's dream film because it got to see a black guy die in the ring to a white man,
Oh,
and an American beat the shit out of a Russian. That was poor taste. That joke went over better in '89. Sorry,
No, man. You know it's.
that was bad.
No,
Rocky
dude.
4, Rocky 4, the official Rocky of the alt-right.
There you go.
At the end of Rocky 5, they were originally going to
Rocky
kill
what?
Rocky.
Which Rocky?
5.
Rocky
He's
5.
the one that
What?
stops
No.
it.
At the end of Rocky 5, they were going to kill off Rocky in the street fight at the
What?
end. They were going to make him die.
But then they
No.
realized how folly how bad that would be, how much folly that would throw
Did it
back
because
on.
the fan
They
base
tried.
killed him.
I don't know what movie you're talking about. There's only 5 Rocky movies: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Ah,
I'm talking about the one with Tommy Gunn. Honestly, the 5th one is my least favorite.
Tommy
to
Gunn.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Did-
I'm joking. I always
What-
make the joke that I
what-
don't put Rocky 5. Like, if I do a Rocky marathon, I watch 1 and 4, I skip 5, and then I watch Balboa.
Wasn't
That's like
Stallone's?
for me.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say that's for me. Star Wars for me. 1, 2, and 3 don't exist.
2 was okay. I can give it that.
I'll watch 2 and 3. The Phantom Menace just doesn't add anything. To the
No,
story.
fuck
It's not
no,
very
dude.
cool.
She marries a fucking 16-year-old and has kids with him, and she's in her 20s.
I didn't really.
It's a little bit creepy.
That.
I mean, I didn't really give that much of a shit about. I mean, I thought the end fight was okay. Like, I don't know. So I like Star Wars, but I don't want to call myself a Star Wars fan because I know Star Wars fans and they're fucking rabid. I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm just old, so I like the
I
originals that
loved-
came out when I was a kid.
I thought The Force Awakens was a good movie. I thought they did a good job. All they did is rehash nostalgia, and I was fine with that, right? They didn't stray too far off. I thought The Last Jedi was crap because they treated Luke Skywalker like a little bitch, and Luke Skywalker
I haven't watched them.
growing
I
up is not a
refuse
little
to.
bitch.
I can't make it through the movie.
I
Only-
refuse to watch the new 6 and 7 or 7 and 8. I refuse to. After 3, I'm like, no, I'm not watching. any
You know
more of
what?
these.
You know what? I guarantee you'll enjoy The Force Awakens if you do watch them, and you'll hate The Last Jedi. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I also hated Rogue One.
Well,
I
you
thought
know
that
the
was
scene- you know the
dumbest
scene-
fucking useless movie ever made.
You know the scene where Leia, like, does the thing that's so fucking impossible and stupid in the vacuum of space?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I thought it was dumb, but that's not what made me hate them.
Oh, I thought that was
It
so
was-
fun. I know, but it's just shit like that stacked up on, and then the other shit, you know? It's just like, oh, man, god damn.
There's only two things, in my opinion.
God damn.
Good that came out of and I'm talking the original 3 prequels here. Like back in the early 2000s, like those prequels. There's only 2 good things, in my opinion, that came out of that. Darth Maul. I really like that villain. Classic Darth Vader meme where he just breaks loose from the table and he just screams, "No!" Like, if we didn't have the prequels, we wouldn't have that meme. Those 2 things are worth.
Speaking of Darth Maul, have any of you guys watched the Clone Wars and Rebels?
No,
my kids love the Clone Wars series.
Yeah, no, those cartoons are actually way better than the prequels or the I guess sequels, if you want to call them that.
I got into the first 2 years, and then I stopped watching.
Yeah, I'm saying they're fine. They're good. They add a lot to the story. The characters are fun. Like it's a fun story,
good, man.
And I mean, so it's designed for kids, and you know it's designed for kids, so you expect it to be a little bit childlike, and it was fine. I enjoy watching it.
I just looked something up about Stallone. I thought he played, remember the Tommy Gun, that character? I thought he played a character named Tommy Gun in Death Race 2000, and it was...
Yeah, that's not the name of the character, but
no, it's Machine Gun, yes, Machine Gun Joe Viterbo. That's his name.
That movie is fucking epic, dude.
I love it, man. Corman is a god. Anyway. So
yeah, I really liked David Carradine. As creepy as the guy was, man, he played some great fucking roles.
He was just into some kink, man. I mean, come on, y'all. You know, everybody.
No, his presence physically when you were around him is, oh, you're creepy. I don't want to be near you.
Oh, well, if you really met him and that happened, then I can say okay.
Even it's like a 10, 11-year-old. He had that creepy vibe that made you not want to say hi to him.
Like a lizard.
Yeah.
Like a lizard, man. That's the vibe I always got off of the man.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh, like something up your spine. Even watching Kung Fu, just ugh.
Yeah, no, I grew up in Santa Barbara County where a lot of Hollywood lives.
Yeah.
They vacation there a lot and stuff. So I run into on a daily basis a lot of really famous people in normal settings. Jacqueline Smith, totally cool gal. Quentin Tarantino, he himself is cool. His little crew are a bunch of little bitches. You know, Clint Eastwood is just a nice everyday guy. Same as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Same as a whole bunch of different people. Like, you know, Noah Wiley's kind of self-important and annoying, but you know, Joe Rogan's a really cool everyday person.
I love Joe Rogan.
That's just like you don't even notice a lot of times when you grow up around those people.
Yeah, just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, because it's another business, you know, and that's what the deal is. It's like just because you're in a certain job doesn't mean you should tell me how to fucking vote.
Yeah.
You know, that just is the most that's what fucking pisses me off. It's so
just self-important fart sniffers.
Exactly.
You're getting high off your own farts if you think I'm going to listen to you. You know, go fuck yourself. Take a long walk off a fucking short pier. Fuck yourself. I'll listen to myself. Thank you very little. You know? Sorry.
That's super funny that you brought that up about voting, because I just got on my Facebook and the first post I saw was about friends. You know that one time that you called in a favor? Well, I remember this one time, and my one time to you is make sure to show up and vote this midterm. And this is from a super liberal person, right?
Okay, we will.
It's a lot about like I will. I'm gonna vote for the exact opposite of what you think I'm gonna do.
No, you vote. You vote for exactly who you want to vote for.
That's right.
I'm gonna bring it. So I do have one thing that's really fucking pissed me off lately.
Honey,
my politics, like in 2008, I was a huge Ron Paul supporter, and while my politics have evolved slightly, I mean, I've actually become less extreme of a libertarian, but I mean, I still hold those opinions. And in 2008, I could talk about like how I felt about certain issues, and people would be like, "That's a really fucking cool take, man." Now in like 10 years later, the same people are like, fuck fascist.
You fucking racist Nazi motherfucker, yeah.
And I'm just like, what? Like when? Like how? Like how did this happen? Okay, yes, I will no longer talk politics to any of those people that I used to talk to because they just want to call me names and say I'm a fucking evil person for thinking this way, and they don't even want to listen anymore. Like, I tell them that they've been brainwashed a little bit too much by their echo chambers and the media that they're consuming. And I try to explain how, like, the news has changed in the last, 10, 12 years. Yeah, I mean, it's always been kind of bullshit, but it's changed because they got to make money, and the only way to make money is being clickbait. That's it.
Yeah. Controversy is cash. Yeah, I mean that's
exactly.
Yep.
Dirty laundry.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's it, Irate. Right, freaking there.
Yeah, that was a great song.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Well, no, people talk about there's nothing that your like fucking regular news pundits do that we can't do.
Well, and that's what's happening.
Oh yeah.
I listen to two people for my news now. Sticks Hexenhammer, and fucking
here.
Tim Pool.
Yep. Holy shit! Yeah, I watch all their videos every day.
Yeah, me too, man.
You know what?
No, hold on. One to add for a more like a left winger, but is pretty level headed. Kyle Kalinske from Secular Talk. It's at least good to get his opinion. Like,
well, at least you didn't say David Pakman.
No, fuck that guy. No
shit.
Kyle Kalinske is like, he calls himself a democratic socialist, but he's not fucking crazy. Like, he
can be obtusely ignorant of stuff intentionally. Fuck me.
He did one about like he did one about how like average wages declined even though unemployment and economic growth increased. And it just, his video, he was so ignorant of economics. It was laughable. But at the same time, like, he's done other videos where he's like called out the left for some of the stupid shit they're talking about, right? Like, he's not on this impeach Trump because he colluded with Russia. He's like, I'm looking at the facts right here, and right now we have a whole bunch of indictments that are, first off,
based on servers that haven't been viewed by anybody yet.
No, hold up. Like I will step that one back. Let's just say they have concrete fucking evidence that Russians hacked the server. So you're indicting Russian. Now, they have no evidence that's tied to anybody in America. None whatsoever. What do those indictments do, right? Like, there's no extradition treaty with Russia, nor would Russia ever do that. Like, they're not going to send their intelligence officials over to America for trial. Like, it's just something to say, like, it's something to add to a talking point to say, oh, well, there's been 23 indictments in the Mueller investigation so far. And, like, 2 of them were procedural errors, blind to the FBI. 2 of them have to do with Manafort, and the rest have to do with offshore companies that they will never see trial.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing is that Putin even told Mueller, sure, you can come and interview with the guys in Russia.
Yeah. They said you can come here, but I'm not going to send anybody on U.S. soil.
Oh hell no!
Why would he? Like, it's so stupid, and it's just like, it's one of those things. Like, remember when WikiLeaks was anti-Bush and released all those cables? Guess what? We do the same shit that we're accusing Russia of in other countries.
That's what I was just going to say.
We literally installed dictatorship.
And guess what? We do it, and we do it all the time, and sometimes we fail, right? Like, there was a campaign to make sure Netanyahu and Israel did not get elected.
Publicly. Publicly. Yeah. Obama went there and rallied against Bibi Netanyahu, donated money publicly to the
donated
campaign.
Taxpayer. Yeah, no shit. That was totally against the law. It's okay if he, like, if they got money donated to them and he tried to do that, right? But they were using taxpayer money to do that thing, and that's completely fucking. It's illegal. plain, you know.
See, so I can't even have rational conversations about Trump to people that don't like him because they don't want to hear stuff like yeah, all the shit he says on Twitter and all that shit. Trump's a racist, whatever. Like what he's doing in office. Well, no, like what he's doing in office. Even if you want to cite the cherry picked examples of times where he might there was a racially charged debate surrounding Trump. It's not affecting anything he's done since he's been in office, right? Like, if you want to call the Muslim ban racist, you need to learn the difference between an ideology and a race, and then, well, the next thing is like Trump tax cuts. I was like, I think the tax cuts are good in general for the economy, but they're not really tax cuts; they're tax deferrals. Yeah. Right, because we're not cutting government spending, we're just kicking it down the line. So it's another form of stimulus. It's just the supply side stimulus versus like the government direct spending stimulus.
Right.
Right. So I want to have that conversation about what I don't like about Trump's policies and the Republicans, but I can't have that conversation. I can't even get to that point without some racist, bigot, xenophobe, treasonous traitor bullshit coming up to fight against. And when that shit starts getting thrown in my face, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to talk. Like, so let's just change the subject. Not worth my time.
Well, and heaven forbid you not be lockstep supporting Trump too.
And they wonder, why fucking Facebook and Twitter stocks are dropping. You know,
some of that's panic, but they were both overvalued to begin with.
Well, I think part of the Twitter thing was the shadow ban shit getting out, you know, and it making it to the mainstream media.
So there's a little bit of truth to that. So if you're a smart investor, right, somebody that spends a lot of money on stuff, you're going to be like, I want to invest in a platform that is going to maximize the number of users and therefore the amount of income it can generate. So when they start doing things that is obviously going to limit a subsection of users,
yeah,
and get them to go to other viable platforms, then you're going to be like, well, maybe I don't think this company's going to go where it goes. But the thing with Facebook is from what I heard, this was actually from Tim Pool, I just believe him, their earnings report was positive. It just wasn't as positive as expected.
Well, yeah, okay, so so Twitter is actually not in the black. They're in the red. And they have been for 4 years now, and they're just using tricky accounting to cover it up.
I could believe that.
Now, Facebook is run entirely different, and they are solvent. They are, I think they have growth of like 1% or something like that, but their projected growth has been way higher than what their actual growth is. And I think a lot of that has to do with what they're determining to be quote unquote fake news is a lot of times their own fucking advertising.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah. So whenever you have that policy, you're also blocking off a percentage of potential advertising.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
so?
I mean, it turns out 42% of the country, well, hold on, 29% of the country voted for Donald Trump. And I would say probably even a higher percentage of that would vote for him again.
Well, yeah, we're seeing actual economic growth now. You're going to see people vote for him again in 2020.
Are you talking now of the people that voted for it? That voted?
No,
or the people in the United States? Just the actual percentage?
The actual number. I thought it was something like 29%. I don't know. It could be lower. It might be more like 24. I know that the percentage of people that actually vote in the elections is generally low. But
it's decreasing. It has been.
Yeah,
it has
you're
been
talking
since
about
Bush
through
2.
registered voters that actually voted. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know who I want to be president? Paul to be president.
You want who?
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul?
That would be Ron Paul's son. Yeah, he's in Congress.
No.
I'd vote for him.
I actually met Rand Paul when he ran for president this last time. Primaries, but I met him, when the pre-primary things were still going on.
Right.
He's gotten too wishy-washy on a few things for me to feel comfortable voting for him recently.
Well, I think if you're coming out of the Libertarian school and into the Republican Party, and you're kind of straddling, both areas, there's shit you're going to have to, there's shit you're going to have to go back on, for both sides.
Oh no, I'm talking about his refusal to state an opinion on several things, not.
Oh, like the yeah.
I don't know,
the Patriot Act. I think that's the most important thing that
he won't back out on. He won't say that we need to get rid of it. He refuses to say we need to get rid of it.
He's not saying that now?
Act. No.
Okay.
He was saying, what was it, 2
is.
years ago? He was saying that the Patriot Act isn't going to get removed. He's not going to touch it.
Yeah, I think if he could actually get it on the Senate floor, he'd do it. It's just he's focusing on other things.
Not the Patriot Act before.
Yeah.
Congress.
Yeah, but then a couple of years ago, he said, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore. The Patriot Act this year, just deal with it."
So that's probably one of his compromises with the Republican Party.
Well, so
and that's some fucking bullshit.
Wait, hold on.
I agree with that. I totally agree.
One of the biggest differences between Rand and his father is Rand is more willing to be pragmatic, but also pick battles he can win.
Right.
Like, I guarantee when Patriot Act renewal comes up, he votes no, knowing that it's going to be a useless no vote. So he's not going to sit there on the Senate floor and give lectures to people about it because it's not going anywhere. But he was one of the few people that stood up to Republicans about the new spending bill. He voted no against it, of course, and said, "Oh, it's amazing how whenever Democrats are in power, we bitch about the budget and the deficit, and then when Republicans are in power, we just let it ride on. Like, we do the same thing the Democrats do."
Right.
They got up and gave a big speech about it. So, like, he's still speaking truth to power in the Senate. So
it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, I was saying overall, I think he's a net positive to have in our government. And if he ran for president, I would vote for him. I think I think he would have gotten the nomination if it wasn't for the fact that Trump was a perfect storm. I don't know.
Yeah, because actually, he probably would have.
No.
I think that because 2016 was the first election I was going to be legally old enough to vote. Strong interest in politics. So from the get-go, like in 2015, I started like following, what candidates were running. I really liked Rand Paul, and I was following what was going on, and Rand Paul was leading the pack. He was leading in the Republican primaries, and he continued to lead all the way up until about a week after Trump announced his candidacy, and people realized, wait, this is real. And then the media coverage switched to Trump. Everything got scrambled, and like candidates that were leading like fell behind other candidates. It just messed everything up. Like, I don't really know what happened, but like it was like pretty solid. Rand Paul was leading the Republicans.
Okay, I'm gonna let you.
So Trump was a bigger.
Hold on, one at a time, y'all. Hold on, one at a time. All right, Tim.
So I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The Pauls often lead really well in the primaries, and then as soon as the primary vote comes, their votes disappear. They will never get primary candidacy. No, baby, I was there. I was there, and I voted for Ron Paul, and my vote literally disappeared in my district. They said there were 0 Ron Paul votes in my district, and I knew at least 10 people that voted for him in the primaries. Ron Paul will...
I believe that.
Ron Paul took...
The Pauls will never get a primary. No, the Pauls will never get a primary nod. They will never be a prime candidate for any presidential election. And I don't know why, but that is how it breaks down. Ted Cruz would have been our leader, or would have been our ticket.
I'll just say this. Unless I find, unless he's either not running, candidate that's running at the same time as him that actually is better than him, in my opinion, more than likely, if Rand Paul is running for president in primaries, support him as long as he's running until he drops out or...
Right. Well, I mean, that's what you have to do with your...
maneuver, because this time he realized that limited time that he probably wasn't going to get the primary, obviously, primary, elections. He wasn't going to win it. Time to get back into the Senate race if he wanted the seat in the Senate, because that was coming up for him as well. So it was either keep running and lose and not have anything and be out of the government, up out from the presidential race and run for the Senate still, which he did, and he won, and now he's back in the Senate for another 6 years.
Yeah, no, Kentucky's going to keep voting for him as long as he wants to be a candidate.
It's better that he's in the Senate than not in the government at all. Because
that's what I was saying to him. He's a net positive to have around.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
Nobody's a perfect person, but he's one of the better people in government to have.
I don't think he would make a strong president. I don't think he has the right kind of presence and backbone and confrontational nature to be the president of the United States. Because to be the president of the United States, you have to be a little confrontational. Because if not, you end up like Obama.
I'll say about him that surprised me, and this has nothing to do with his ability to lead or anything like that, but he surprised me. This is when I met him. Stood next to him and got a photo and all that. He's actually he was shorter than me. I expected him to be taller.
No, but he's tiny man.
For some perspective, I'm not really tall. I'm kind of average. I'm 5'10". But Rand Paul has got to be about 5'8". He was about 2 feet shorter than me. So here was me at 5'10", looking taller than Rand. I was oh, I thought he'd be taller than that. Okay,
well, yeah, man, that's a lot of them are like that, man. A lot of little man syndrome with politicians. I mean, it's just kind of whatever. It's part of the deal.
Yeah, politics is the Hollywood for ugly people.
Maybe that's why I want to go into politics.
It's true, man. I've watched all the hearings happening lately, and they go around the table and you see the people there, and there's very few. Trey Gowdy's one of the pretty boys. He's not that pretty.
Yeah.
He looks like he fell out of the ugly tree.
Yeah, but I tell you, man, it's going to be a sad day to see that dude go.
I think he's retiring.
I don't blame him for just wanting to get out.
No.
Really, that's how it's supposed to be, though, man. Back in the day, we used to have things called statesmen, right?
Yeah.
You go, serve your time as a representative, and then you go back and return as a citizen.
Well, how about this? What if Sessions gets the boot after the midterms? Would he
I think
be a
that's what they're
perfect
planning.
fit?
I think that's what they're planning.
I would love to see
That's what
that.
they're planning. Either that or he's going to be a Supreme Court nod.
Yeah, no, what's funny is I think Sessions is only going to get the boot so long as the House maintains the majority, or the Republicans maintain a majority in the House and Senate. Which I think they will, but...
No, I think Sessions is out because Trump is trying to legalize marijuana.
Yeah, and the first thing Sessions said when he, literally got to a microphone was, "I'm going to bank marijuana. We're going to stuff it down on these marijuana laws because of marijuana."
Well, and then Trump came over his head and said, "No, you're not."
God damn, man! I was
Shut up,
holy
dude.
shit!
Shut up!
You're making my state look.
She's like, "This is not important in America right now. Fuck you."
No shit, man. It's like making my state look as worse than it already. It's got the worst reputation in the goddamn country. Let's go to Alabama where everybody fucks their sister and shit, man. And now it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go after marijuana too. Fucking A, man. Get your shotgun and let's go riding.
And on that note, I've had people say that Trump's the most far-right president we've had in a long time, and I'm just
dude,
you guys are fucking stupid.
Bush would have been more far-right than Trump.
So I ask him questions like, when was the last time at the Republican convention a Republican candidate held up an LGBT flag? Has that ever happened?
When was the last time we had a president that was the first person to make a woman immigrant minority a CEO head? Oh, exactly. That would be Trump.
That would be Trump, exactly.
George W. Bush would be farther right than Trump.
Absolutely.
G8.
Do you know how many... honestly, Trump is Democratic.
He's a blue dog Democrat.
Yeah,
he's
Thank you.
New
York Democrat.
He's a
Yeah,
New York
The
Democrat.
Manhattan Democrats. That's what he's much like them. That's why he's doing he's doing this fucking weird mix, man. Like so tariffs and protectionist policy, that has always been a left-wing position. It's really fucking hilarious to see MSNBC come out being like tariffs are bad.
He's a hybrid, man. He's a hybrid.
Yeah. No,
and it's
he's
great.
a hybrid. He's a hybrid. But what's funny is so moderates. We call people like moderates and center, but what that usually means is that they have extreme position. It's just they don't line up left and right equally.
Yes. Right, and that means they fucking can think.
Left and right equally these days.
I consider myself to be centrist. Don't come on strong with some political opinions. It just means that I take. Some of them would be considered maybe more left wing. Some of them are going to be considered maybe more right wing. But I don't really feel like I need to be either left or right wing. I just take what sounds the smartest and what sounds like it'll work, and like, you know, my opinions like that.
Well, right, you vote. You actually look at right. You examine the issues, and you back the candidate that represents your ideas the most. Yep. Right. I mean, that's what the process is all about. You know, yep. And that's just hell, Joke and I have been around long enough where we've seen, it's at the point of where you realize that when you pull it for the president, if it's a party person, you're going to get basically the same old shit. I mean, the Congress has not done anything. The parties have not reached across the aisle since Bill Clinton. Yeah. And they did it during the Reagan administration too. And it takes a special kind of fucking president. You got to be able to give on something. No, Obama was fucking so hard-headed, he wouldn't give. You know, he was willing to bet his future in the history books, you know, on a couple of simple, stupid ideas. And I'm not going to talk about them because we all know what they are. But he was a genius at being able to politicize shit. But when it came to working with the opposite side, he could not do it because, you know, he just had no backbone, I don't think, or something. I don't know.
One thing I dislike Reagan for. I'm not saying I dislike him overall.
Right.
Thing that he did that I learned about that he did that I dislike. I wasn't alive back then. I'm far too young for that. But the fact that apparently it was Reagan's fault that we have the 21 drinking age in America, whereas the rest of the world, you know,
no. That's not even close. No. That was Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah, hold on. One thing that is true
because what I had heard is that like there was like these groups like that, right, that were like pressuring people to like start raising the drinking age, and then Reagan had like decided to do something about it, and I think like what I heard is that he like or something like that with like federal to withhold some sort of federal funds if they didn't raise their drinking ages.
Is that all you're worried about is drinking age? If you can't get served by the time you're 18, dude, you got problems with your partner.
I mean, I mean, it's not that I never drink.
He's got a point, dude. I was going to liquor stores, man, and when I was 16,
I was
17.
drinking in bars since I was 16 years old.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But here's what happened. Here's what happened. All right, for the record, that was all states that did that, and it was through Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It was a statewide. It was a grassroots state lobby, right? Yep. And I know the lady that led it in my state. And she went on to do some fucking radio show a couple years later. But you know what I'm saying? But it was an individual thing. Reagan had nothing to do with it.
It was individual states that did it, because I remember back when they started that shit, it was Jersey was 21, but New York was 18. Mm-hmm. Everybody would drive over to New York and get bombed and then fucking come back to Jersey.
Exactly.
And have a whole bunch of accidents on the way back home.
Exactly, man. The GWB
Leading
was
by
all
example.
fucked up.
It's amazing what a few bucks in a PayPal account does to help a small creator.
No,
thank you, lead by example.
The one thing I think Reagan did wrong was his gun bans. He got a little crazy about guns, and I think he courted the religious right, and he's the one that brought the religious right to the forefront.
More majority.
Well,
yeah, and that was
because he got his ass shot.
No, he courted them before.
No, with the gun bans and with the with Brady's law, because that was a warning to him. Fix this. You're going to push this bill through, because they kept trying to push the bill on him, and they shot, and it didn't kill him, but he got the message.
Yeah.
One thing I dislike in American politics, various religious groups try to push for things to either be to be illegal or something like that.
Hold sway over politics.
Where the only discernible reason they have is because their religion says it's wrong. For example, take for example gay marriage and stuff. If you look outside of religious texts, is it really going to hurt people if, gay people get married?
Yeah, but all right, here's my question,
Malcolm. Affect my daily life,
Hold on. Irate, I'm going to interject because I might have the same question. Okay. What the fuck does government have to, why is it in the business of marriage?
Exactly.
Why is it even involved?
To prevent black people from marrying white people back in the 60s.
Yeah, is there, I just want a legitimate reason.
That's the reason.
No. It goes back even further.
A reason that wouldn't be racist, right?
Right.
A reason that would actually be beneficial to everybody for government.
Here's the truth. It's an emotional. It's what I call a wedge issue, because it's emotionally charged and it polarizes people like that, right? Either you're for it or you're against it. Abortion, you're either for it or against it, right?
You know what Republicans are laying off of that? It's because the Supreme Court did their job for them. They didn't really fucking care.
Right.
They just had to pay the education. Right now they're going to be like, Supreme Court said what they said.
Yep.
Right? There's nothing, they can just say our hands are tied, man. We can't do anything about it.
The vast majority of the right has been just waiting for that ruling to come out so they can stop talking about it, truth be told.
Absolutely.
I think so. I actually believe that to be true, because you have, of course there's some, right? You got a few very,
religious bigotry is religious bigotry is religious bigotry.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Most fucking politicians are lawyers, right? All right? Gay marriage equals gay divorce. I mean,
exactly.
So lawyers, it's just more business for them. What are they going to vote that shit down? Fuck no.
I figure let them be as miserable as the rest of us.
Exactly.
So not to mention that, but a gay friend of mine actually finally saw my side of the spectrum, where I was like, I'm not going to sit here and argue, even though I'm a libertarian. I'm not going to sit here and argue for gay marriage. That's the wrong argument. Get government out of marriage is the right argument. And they come back. They come back and they say, well, that's not going to happen, so they should make it equal for all. And I was like, okay, look, if government has interest in marriage, the reason is because they want to promote the nuclear family, right? They want people to have kids. That's what most of what marriage benefits do, is they make it penalizing to get a divorce and beneficial to have children. That's what marriage does, right?
Can I say something though? Libertarian, but I necessarily I think there's some aspects of marriage the government shouldn't be involved in, but I think the government needs to at least know and have record of who and that they are legitimately, been legally married. Because, for example, that's going to make it a pain in the ass when people are like, oh, well, we're going to divorce and stuff, and then there's all this other... if the government doesn't know who's married to who and what, how the hell does divorce court work? How do you even prove that there was a marriage in the first place?
So
it's
all
civil,
marriage...
baby.
No, hold on.
Yeah, that's the civil.
So it's contract.
Certificate.
It's contract.
Government authorized.
Yeah.
No, it's civil, baby.
It's still civil, and this is contract, right? You can deal with all these issues through contract. It's not... You don't have to have some special contract that the government sponsors and provides special benefits to, right? You can
that creates a separate but equal thing.
I could have a contract between just some dude I'm living with, and we decide to have a mutual living agreement, right? We're not gay married. We just decide that we're going to have this asset split, and we can write that up in a contract that's very similar to marriage. It's not a difficult thing to do without getting government involved.
Do you think the IRS and the government should quit should not treat guys differently whether they're married or not? There should be no tax benefits to being married and having children.
Fucking hunchback crippled people that nobody's ever gonna marry, right? There's people out there like that are just so socially awkward that never gonna get married. What about their fucking tax benefits, right? They don't get them. They can't.
Yeah, being married doesn't make you special. Having kids doesn't make you special. It just makes you other people on the planet.
I understand having I understand having laws also around children, and the shared responsibility of parents. And right now, I'm on the MRA side. I think they need to give more rights to fathers.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have all that and not have government-sponsored marriage. Everything you're talking about can happen without government having anything to do with marriage. Marriage can completely be a religious or private social institution, right? There's no problem with people that are atheistic getting married, vowing their lives to each other. That's a fucking beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. But why would you Doug's saying that
the contract thing? I didn't actually think about that before. So now that you actually brought that up, you kind of swayed me over to your side. That actually makes a lot of sense. You actually wouldn't need what we have currently.
Yeah, where it's a very
that actually makes a lot of sense.
It's a license and it gives you special benefits.
Yeah,
right? And they're only taxation and stuff like that.
I am a strong proponent of a nuclear family. I do believe that is one of the big components that the Soviet Union were using to try to destroy the United States.
Oh no! Hold up, real quick. I'm a proponent of that too. However, what happened since government got more and more involved in marriage law? What happened to the nuclear family?
The decline of the nuclear family.
It's gotten worse and worse.
So it's just one of those things. When government tries to do social engineering programs, they're bad at it, and marriage is proof. So the correct argument is get rid of all marriage laws. Get it out of the tax code. Get it out of any law that exists around marriage. Get rid of it.
Good luck.
Oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we can't get a critical mass of people to have that argument.
Well, it's like what I was saying. It's the fucking lawyers.
Say, let everybody get married.
Once again, the lawyers are going to say, you're not going to take that money out of my fucking pocket. Fuck you. That's why they fucking run for office and shit. Because they're protecting each other, man. It's a fucking boys club. And girls club. It doesn't matter, man. They're all together. They're all in it together. You know, Shakespeare was right.
Well, of course, it's the same thing with like copyright and patent laws, which I have. That's a whole nother topic.
Intellectual property, man.
Yeah, it's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. But...
No shit. But
I'm actually not against some copyright protections, but the way we argue about it. But it's the same thing. The only reason I bring it up, I don't want to get off on another tangent, because that's another hour and a half. Yeah, that's another hour and a half long conversation. But it goes back to what you're saying about lawyers. It's very similar, right? Like the people that are profiting off of all these increased laws over things like this shit, like IP and marriage, are lawyers.
But yeah, and
you actually have swayed me over to the side of government out of marriage.
Well, there's
I was gonna say, if you need more, man, I got plenty of sources to give to you.
And I was gonna say, there's a rule of thumb. Every time somebody says there ought to be a law, you can guarantee somebody's gonna lose a freedom.
Yeah.
Again, like for the most part, like I am for getting the government out of most everything we can, because I am libertarian. It's just that before you brought up all those good points now, I didn't really see how to get out of marriage and still have some semblance of order in courts and other stuff like that when it came to divorce and other things. But like,
all right, dude, after the stream, I have
contracts and everything.
All right, so what you just said, after we're done, I'm going to send you an article, or it's an essay that was written by Marie Rothbard. I am philosophically an anarcho-capitalist, and I say philosophically because
there's no way to implement it right now.
No, I don't want to be confused with the people that are like,
you're on the honor system.
Get rid of government tomorrow and everything's going to be fine. No, that's not how it works.
That's not going to be how it would work at all.
Yeah, no. I look at it as a destination, right? Like when humanity's ready for it, rather than a direction, right? That we should take, rather than an instant destination that we should arrive at. Like if we could get a critical mass of people to be like, we want to be at the least reliant on government as possible, which we don't live in that society.
I would like to say this.
Accelerate is being asked to be put in my pocket at this point. I want to keep you as my bosom buddy at this point, dude.
All right.
Well, it's like we're at the bottom of the hour. Unless I'd like to go ahead and stop at this point right here, because we could generate a whole nother cycle and be doing this thing all night.
We just brought up like 2 topics, 3 topics
exactly.
that deserve their own hour and a half.
And we can table this stuff for later. Joke.
Yes, sir.
It's been a fucking honor having you here, and I'm definitely going to have you back. Okay.
I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Pleasure is on this side of the table, man.
Do you have anything you want to pimp, dude?
No, man. I'm good.
You got any shows or anything coming up?
Not that I know of. I'm just winging it, my man. I'm just winging it.
Okay.
Well, man, I got you followed on Twitter, and I got you followed on YouTube, man. I might hit you up. Pinoid Live is returning next Thursday, so I guess I'm interjecting for me shilling. We're returning next Thursday on the bubble. We're gonna have something a little bit new to do. We've talked about it a little bit, but we do our help with smaller YouTuber, and I would love to have you on, man.
I appreciate it. You can get in contact with me. I'm always home.
I feel you, man.
Also, I think Irate can attest to this. I think you and Pino get along great.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes.
Tell me, you got anything you want to promote?
I'm supposed to be starting a new Not Safe for Wednesday kind of show, I think with Allie, on Wednesdays on the Cunt Stream. And then on Tuesdays, I do a show on Lo-Fi's channel, and they've changed the name to Moonifest Destiny. It's Tyro's the head host, and then Lo-Fi and I co-host with him. And then I know I have other things. I'm still trying to get this damn individualism versus collectivism philosophical stream together.
Yeah, when's that happening?
fuck it, bye. No, everybody keeps going, oh yeah, I'll be there, and then, oh no, I have all day stuff to do, and I can't make it today.
Yo, I was ready. I wasn't.
I was too.
Well, hold on, Occam, you got anything to you want to pimp? Anything to shill? Hello?
Can you hear me?
It's kind of robot-y.
Buddy?
Go for it.
Okay. Going to start making some content again. Get myself a new computer because this computer has been doing some screwy stuff and messing up my video editor. Coming through?
Yeah.
Okay. Been messing with my video editor and doing a bunch of other stuff and restarting at random points, so it's just doing a lot of dumb stuff. So I'm gonna have to get myself a new computer probably soon. But decided to try my hand at a Discord server again. You know, try to be there, and like I pretty much have like a public link. I know on I shared one on Twitter once, but that might be hard to find. And I know I have it on my YouTube channel, but like if someone wanted to get in, they could probably just, you know, contact me and I could just give them a link.
All right.
But
so your Discord is getting back in gear, and so
I have like a brand new one. Like I just started fresh.
Cool. So should they just DM you on Twitter and on Discord to get invites if they can't find anybody else?
And I could even probably, if it'll let me, try to post an invite at or something, if anybody wanted to join or something. But
okay. I'm going to go ahead and chill, and then we'll do an outro, and then that'll be it, okay? This is Irate Prostate, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. It's been awesome. Had a fun night tonight. Next week, we'll be talking with Doc Griffin. At the time, the interviewer will be interviewed himself. And let's see, tomorrow got Drinks with Friends with, of course, Sir Adamantine, and Sunday, Tim, I forgot, at 3 p.m. Central, that's 4 p.m. Eastern, and 1 p.m. Pacific, I believe. Tim and I will be doing an ice cream interview with the Tim, and and on that we're going to say thanks everybody for showing up, and that's it. Take care.